Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hello, our friends and family. We are here earlier than our scheduled time because we want to discuss a pressing issue, pressing matter with all of you. Hello. So I'm gonna continue talking, and you guys join us as you please. Today, the FBI arrested, or there is a news out there, an alleged child sexual abuse. There is a man in Texas. He is in custody of the FBI after a video surfaced on the dark web. And for you, if you don't know what the dark web is, it is basically a place where people go, sick people, let me just say sick people go to watch videos of children who's getting molested, watch children who are being raped, watch children or adults even trafficked. On the dark web, there is so many things that it's sickening to know. So the FBI received a information from an Australian what you call it, an Australian government authorized personnel, and send them a video that was surfaced on the dark web. That video was recorded by a man named Arthur Fernandez Hector, who's 29 years old, and he was arrested on December 18, 2023 in Texas. The result of a 14 criminal complaint filed in federal court in Houston, Texas, showing him recording a video of a 2 years old and a 3 years old children being sexually raped, molested in the mall. And that person was not stranger. He was dating or a friend of their mom, and she let him watch those children. They're both work in the mall. That's the information we have here. So they filmed a gang rape. Listen to me again, 2 and 3 years old. Gang raped by 6 men. Allegedly 6 men. And that was filmed and shared on the dark web. So this whole story is disturbing as it is. To know that grown men will feel pleasure on raping a 2 and a 3 years old. What the hell that you feel when you look at 2 years old, sexual attraction? You have to be sick to, I don't know what. The second thing is filming it, and there is a market for it. So the abuse is not just happening with the rape, with the filming and exploitation, and having it out there, and men, grown men and women will pay money to watch a child being raped. And this is, Maya, help me out here.
Listen, we're in 2024, and the fact that we still have to have these types of conversations about child abuse and how we have these areas on the internet and people have these ill intentions is crazy to me. That we're still talking about it. But this situation in Texas, what really rattled me is this gentleman works in a mall.
Not a gentleman.
I mean, this man. This man works in a mall. And, there's hundreds of kids that go to a mall every day. When I work, well, when I'm saying,
let's get to the point, because we can keep talking about this all day, every day. Like, there's so many kids in the mall, right? And you're giving your children to someone that you think you trust. Hammering to this, like, do not allow any person to watch your kids that you don't trust 100%. You don't have camera. And if your kids, especially if your kids don't talk, especially if they're toddlers, especially if there is special needs. So just, give the point, like, tell people what is going on. We want to hear from you guys. Like, this is not something that we take lightly, and we just continue talking about it. Like, people make the same mistake and expect different results. Why would you? I'm not just blaming the mom. I am blaming everybody today, because in the public restroom, like, where is everyone? That kid, I'm sure, cried, screamed, or did something. Okay? When you see a grown man or a grown woman taking a child, even if their son or their daughter, in a public restroom, like, you have to be vigilant. Your antenna has to be up. Like, there is one video, at least, was done in the public restroom, and the judge is saying the evidence in this case are overwhelming. So, like, go ahead, Maya.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say that, like, parents, like, we tend to just drop our kids off at the mall. When I worked in the mall, I saw it all the time, and we don't think about the predators that are there. We go about our daily lives thinking that everything is sunshine and roses, and there are people who are preying on our children. So, a question that all of us have to ask ourselves is, how do we approach discussing such sensitive and distressing news with our children, right? Because some parents don't talk about it with their children. We kind of want to keep them innocent, and we don't want them to know the bad things. But
what can you discuss with the 2 years old? Like, I do talk to them about private area. Yeah. You have to talk to your kids. Good touch, bad touch. You have to teach them that no one can touch you here. No one can do this to you. But 2 years old and 3 years old, how much information they comprehend.
Right. So that's when the parents' role. That's why what you said is knowing who's around your children.
Yeah.
And not just knowing that, oh, I work with this person, because people put on a different show for people when they're at work. It's a different face. So you don't really know somebody unless you've experienced them. And being at work, you can't really fully experience somebody. So the fact that this man, had access to her child, apparently she would allow him to watch her daughter often while she was working. And I know, like, as parents, sometimes we're put in situations where we have to work, so we need somebody to watch the kids. But we really, really have to, like, really think about what situation we're putting our children in. And our children are too valuable to just let anybody come in.
Yeah, I mean, we do understand you might need someone to watch your kids. But you know what? At this point, just stay home and, like, live off welfare. I'm not just saying that and advising people, but this happens more than we like to say and hear. Having a girlfriend, a boyfriend, and someone you get married to, and you bring them to your house around your children, especially for people who have kids and then they're out trying to get into a relationship or anything. I'm not saying don't have a relationship when you have children, but know who you're bringing around your kids. I know a friend, I know many people that had stories, okay? But you can't just bring someone and say, oh, good, you can stay with my child. You're my boyfriend or girlfriend or husband or whatever. No. People sometimes look on the internet, especially if someone you don't know, you didn't grow up with, you found them on eHarmony or whatever website, Facebook. I'm not throwing shade at any online dating, but you see someone who is searching, looking, got you all wrapped up, and you think you found the gold, you know, at that end of the rainbow, and you trust this person and let them be. There are many signs that we can see and know. Get to know your children first.
Yeah.
Don't leave them unattended. There are cameras. Now in 2024, there are Ring cameras. There are so many cameras that you can use. If your kid is vocal, like he can communicate with you, talk to them. Let them know. Show them the part of their body.
Yeah.
Introduce them to biology from a young age. Show them where. Don't allow anyone to change their diaper. Don't allow anyone to take them to the bathroom. Make them feel comfortable to come and talk to you and say, this one touched me this way.
Right.
You know, even the hugging. Some of us allow family and people to hug, kiss their kids.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like we do that in our culture, but I have boundaries with my girls. There's certain people that don't give me good vibe, and I'll snatch my kids from you. I won't let you touch them. Don't let any grown man put your kids in his lap. There's so many like out there who are going to pray. They're going to look at you as you have young kids and they want to get in your life. That's a red flag, you know? That's a red flag. That person might not be interested in you sexually. They might be interested in your daughter, your son. So, like, cut it.
So we have 2 comments on Facebook. Zende, I hope I said it right. They said they are in churches too.
Churches.
And teach them about grooming and tactics.
Thank you. That happened in churches, in religious houses, unfortunately, because sick people, if anyone look at a child and feel sexual desire, death penalty. I don't know how you guys feel about death penalty, but come around my kids and you're gonna have that without judgment. And that's a threat, like really a threat. And every mom and a dad need to feel this way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Teach them about, grooming. You said grooming, yes. When we talk about human trafficking, that is happening more than what we like to see and hear. Grooming starts from an early age. A lot of women and men, fathers, moms, dads, whatever you call yourself, you allow people into your children's life.
Yeah.
And you have to know, can you bring up the statistics
Yeah.
on how many children are abused, sexually abused by someone familiar to them? And that's normally how it happened. This man here, who is currently under investigation, he's a friend of the mother, and let him wash the 2 and 3 years old. And gang rape 6 adult men. Death penalty to them all. There is a call now in Texas, and I'm standing behind that. They need to do a death penalty for those 6. And I really don't care about what people think, but if you rape a 2 and a 3 years old, you don't deserve to live in this planet. Yeah.
So in 2023, 60% of children who received forensic interview disclosed abuse. 66%. That's a high number of our children.
Yeah.
34% of the children made no disclosure of the abuse. So we have 34% of children who don't say anything.
Yeah.
Because maybe they don't know how. Like, that's why Hajir said you have to have conversations with your children.
And you have to know how your children normally act.
Yeah.
So while she's at this topic, let's talk about science. Yeah. If your children did not come to you and say there is special need, and this is close to my heart, and I'm really pissed today because Kareem is special need child. he cannot communicate. So he won't be able to come and tell me. Yeah. You know, here in Pennsylvania, we had a school bus driver who sexually molested a Down syndrome special need girl for 2 years until he was found. Oh, wow. Right? So that happened a lot. If your child is special need, if your child take a transportation to school, get to know who's driving your kid.
Absolutely.
If your child doesn't talk, now there is cameras, more cameras you can buy, invest in that and put it on your child so you can watch what is happening. If your kid change, if you can't talk to them and they can't communicate, there are signs of sexual abuse in children. Yeah. I'm going to read it to you. The children, sorry, someone is trying to call. Your child will be more quieter than normal, distant. So if your child is normally a happy child, talking so much and become quiet, of sudden, something is different. Yeah. Something happened. It might not be sexual abuse. It could be any kind of abuse. It could be anything happened to them. Yeah. You have to investigate. Yeah. The child is more clingy, like he or she wants to like hold you. Right. When they see someone, they hide behind you. They show signs of being scared. If they never wet the bed and they're wetting the bed, if they're never like cry a lot at night or scared from certain things, and now they're scared of those things, it's changes that you can see. You know, difficulty concentrating if they don't already have attention deficit and of sudden they're not concentrating, they are being abused, sexually abused, specifically sexual abuse. And this list I'm reading for you is behavioral, from children psychiatrists, children, doctors that know the behavior of the children. If their eating, sleeping, or hygiene changed, that means something happened in their environment. Yeah. Investigate. And I'm going to keep saying this. Any change you see in your daughter, your son, investigate it. If they're progressive, they're regressing in their behavior, if they're acting differently in any way, if they're showing knowledge of sexual part or sexual behavior, rest assured that they are either seeing it, being exposed to it, or somebody's doing it to them. If your child is showing knowledge of sexual part, if their body more than what you taught them, rest assured that someone is either doing it to them or they're seeing it done. Right. Okay? If they're writing, if they're drawing, watch their art. Sometimes the kids express by art, singing, by acting it out. If they're showing you, touching your boobs, they're touching your private. You know, sometimes it's just kids being a kid. Right. Also investigate if they are like having problem with their friends, attendance in school. They have symptoms of illness that they never had before. If they always complain about their tummy, and this is one of the biggest signs, if they complain about their tummy, if they complain about consistent, headache, asking question and just talking in a vague way. Sometimes the abuser will threaten the child. Yeah. Not sometimes, almost all the time. Yeah. Go ahead, Maya.
We see this in movies and shows, and the reason why they're able to show us is because it's happened. So you have to really make sure that you are watching over your children. If your children are nonverbal, if they have special abilities, examine them. Yeah. Don't be afraid to, after your child has been at daycare or school, check them.
We strip. Listen, when Kareem come home, we take his clothes, shower him. When you give your son or daughter a bath when they're young, make sure you check their body from their head to their toes.
Yeah.
Make sure if they say owie, if they say ouch, it hurts when they pee, when they go to the bathroom, take them to the doctor. Have the doctor examine them. Don't be afraid like to do that step.
Right.
Don't be naive.
That's the biggest thing.
Don't be naive.
Don't be naive. Like, we have so much stuff happening in the world, and you want to believe that everybody is great.
Yeah.
But you cannot be naive to situations that happen in Texas, because it can happen to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't just say, well, oh, that's in Texas. I don't know anybody.
And you know what? We're not talking about with this just because it happened in Texas, but it's happening everywhere.
All over the world.
This is not just, and while we're at this topic, this is happening in Sudan because of the war. It's happening in Gaza. It's happening everywhere. But now we're not talking about wars zone. We're talking about local here. We just had a case here in Pennsylvania. You know, a young lady had a online dating and invited that person and brought him around her daughter. Then he moved in so quick. When someone sees that you have a daughter or a son in your profile, they reach out, they're so friendly, and they're jumping into, oh, you go to work. I will babysit your daughter. Yo, hell, you're not. No, you're not.
Right.
You're not babysitting my daughter. You're not going to be around my kids.
Yeah, you have to be conscious. And you have to know the signs yourself as a parent. Even not as a parent. If you don't have kids, you still have to know the signs. Because if you are in the mall and you see a child who looks uncomfortable, who looks confused, they're being forced or rushed, or they're being held in a certain way, like, it is your responsibility to speak up and say something.
Yeah. Even if you don't feel like you want to you want to talk to the person, you know what? Be a Karen. Be a Karen. Don't be a Karen calling on like, oh, I see a black man breathing. No. Say, I see this child, you know, looked uncomfortable, looked pained, looked like something is happening to them. You better be safe than sorry. I will walk to a security mall, in a mall. Like, this did happen. These 2 and 3 years old toddlers were raped in a bathroom in a mall.
In a mall.
Like.
A mall.
Oh. The statistics are crazy. And you have questions, right?
I have one more statistic that I want to give. Not more than 90% of abusers are people that your children know.
That's what I said to you earlier.
Right. 90%.
No one is going to abuse a child, just grab a child from the street. I mean, it happened, but 10%. 90%.
That's a huge number.
Listen to this number again. Repeat after me. 90% of sexual abuse that happened to children is from someone that they know, that their moms know, their dad know, someone, their family member brought them into their world.
Right. So the 90% is from people that they love and trust. 50% is outside of the household. So that's what you're saying, the boyfriend, the new dating, the things like that. So
the friend. And women do rape too.
Absolutely.
So don't, like, this more is men raping, but fathers, which I don't even want to call them fathers, rape their daughters and sons.
Right.
Moms rape their sons and daughters. That happened. And it's sickening. As sickening as it is, it happened. Brothers, the most we hear about is cousins. Like an uncle. Like, we have people that we know. Search around you. And I'm sure anyone listening to us right now know a story of someone that was either sexually assaulted, sexually raped, molested, sexually groomed by a family member, an uncle, an aunt, a cousin, a grandfather. Creepy old grandfathers. Stay right in your lane.
You know, you text me last week that there's a difference between love and love.
Yes.
When you are not like, just being around people who are creepy. Like even as grown women, we've experienced it ourselves.
You don't have we all have a sixth sense.
Yeah.
When they say the motherly intuition or fatherly intuition, or I have that feeling,
yeah,
don't ignore it.
Yeah.
When someone give you the chills and the bad vibes, get rid of them. Yeah. Listen to yourself. Distance yourself. I don't care what you do.
Yeah.
Don't have them around your kids. Yes. And especially if your kids are non-verbal.
Yes. So we have a couple comments. I'm going to just read them right quick. So Zende said creating a safe space without bias and judgment so that they can disclose and share. Absolutely.
Yes, I want to share something about this. This will fit right with every life that we did with all of you guys. If you follow us in every life, I talk about, be your kids' father and mother, but also be their confidant.
Yeah.
Be someone that they trust. I didn't say be their friend and say, hey, bruh, let's go party. Nope. But be their friend.
Yeah.
Listen to them.
Yeah.
And don't just listen, hear. And you're going to say, well, listen and hear are the same.
Nope, they are not.
Nope, they're not the same.
Mm-hmm.
You could talk to me, and the words could get in my ear, but I'm not hearing you.
Right.
So hear your children. Yeah. Listen to your children.
Yeah.
When they say to you no, teach them from an early age that no means no.
And no is okay.
And especially my Sudanese people. When our kids come and say, I don't want to go to such and such house, you're like, this is your uncle, this is your aunt. You have to go. Oh no, give them a hug.
Yeah.
Let them kiss you. No, if your kid is not comfortable, teach them that they have autonomy over their body.
Boundaries.
Teach them they have boundaries.
Yeah.
Teach them that you are respecting them, respecting their choices.
Yeah.
And having a choice doesn't mean they're not polite. No, your kid says no mean no.
Right.
So this way, when they go out in the world and somebody try to hug them, kiss them, make them do something they're not comfortable with, they can feel comfortable saying no.
Yeah.
And when I say no, it means no. Then teach them they can trust you.
Yeah.
And you're not judgmental.
Right.
And you know what I say to my girls all the time? I don't care what you did and what happened. You come to me, tell me. I don't promise you. I'm not going to promise you I'm not going to be mad. Yeah, I'm going to be mad, sad, upset. I'm going to be, worried, all of that. But that's not going to prevent me from loving you, taking care of the problem. Then we can sit down and you're not going to get punished. Don't punish your child for coming and telling you that they did something wrong.
Yeah.
Don't make them feel when somebody does something wrong to them, it's their fault.
Right.
What did you do?
Right.
Take that question out of our vocabulary.
Yes.
When someone come and complain to you that something happened to them, don't turn it around and make them feel as they're part of the problem.
Right.
Nothing is their fault.
Right.
If someone, don't say, oh, why are you dressed like that? That's what it happened.
Yeah, that's what they say all the time.
And you know what? Would it make me sick? Somebody said that for a 5-year-old that got raped. If her parent dressed her better, what the hell? I'm going to be cursing today. So bear with me. Yeah.
Right.
No.
So another comment from Zende again, and I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong, but when we as survivors and being a parent do not get the therapy we need, we tend to pass down trauma. Man.
That's it.
Yeah.
This, what you just said is it, truly. So we as survivors, we as parents, if we're not well, if we're not taught, it is not okay for someone to touch you. We were not like, we did not grow up in Sudan. We did not grow up with sex education. Not in school. Not your mom, not your dad will sit down with you and talk to you about good touch, bad touch, talk to you about your body. Like you learn about your period when you have the period. You learn about, the use. You learn about, you're taught not to go in like public and
act crazy,
flash your body, but that's not it. The sex education is very important, and whether we like it or not, I don't care if you come from a conservative point of view, as religious, as politics, as whatever. You're coming from a liberal, you're coming from Mars, I don't give a damn. You have to be talking to your kids about sex. You have to be talking to your kids about sexual abuse from an early age, because honestly, we all come from different cultures, and that culture could affect how you are going to raise your kids. As a parent, grew up in Sudan, I did not receive any sex education in school or at home, but I made damn sure that my girls from a young age, they learn martial art. And Malaz would tell you, she's like, you traumatized me in early age. We sit down and talk about human trafficking. Talk about if a man come to you and try to touch you, kick him in their private. And I showed her how to kick. And I made her do it on me. And it's not it's not hard enough. Do it hard until she learn how to do it. Run, kick, do whatever. And if someone come to you, you don't go. My girls never went in a bathroom with someone.
Or by themselves.
Or by themselves. In a mall, when your son or daughter need to go to the bathroom, your behind better be with them. Not send them with Felicia, Michael, or John. Nope. You need to be there. And when your kids change their clothes, they need to be changing it in their room, not out there. And with my girls, even my Ramaz, when I give her a bath, and I talked about that a lot, like I be bathing her as a 3 years old. I'm the one washing you, checking, making sure you're good. When it comes to changing her clothes, she kicked me out. She would say, Mom, can you leave? I want to change my clothes. I'm like, girl, I just bathe you. And you as a mom, you want to say, what? But no.
You gotta let them have their
own
space.
You have to install this in them in an early age. You have to. I cannot say this, enough. What else?
So the question that, we want to ask everybody who's watching Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
And YouTube.
What roles can our community play to prevent and address such heinous crimes against children? What can you do in your community? So if they don't have something, if you don't know of anything in your community, ask yourself, what can you do for your community?
I'm going to answer you. She said education. Education is a big thing, right? Teaching the community that is not snitching when you talk about something. But my first thing I will say, when you see something, say something. Like, how long are we going to shut up and see a creeper and know that you have a creeper in your community and don't say a word? We all, and I know you're hearing me because you've seen it. Growing up, and I'm going to share with you something I never shared before. Growing up, going to school, we had a creeper in a corner. An old man who has kids would sit outside of his house in a chair, naked, butt naked, touching his private while we're walking to school. And you know what? This traumatized us big time. But what pissed me off, I didn't know, because we did not have I didn't know what he was doing until I got older. And I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it real with all of you. You know, right, keep it real. I'm going to keep it real. This traumatized me up to today. When I remember that man, I am mad.
Yeah.
And this is not just me. The whole neighborhood of elementary school don't know nothing. We did not receive any education. We're sitting there. You're walking to school at 6 o'clock in the morning, seeing a grown man wearing a jalabiya, like a Sudanese
robe,
traditional, like a robe, like a dress, basically. Okay, and touching himself. And you walk, you run. We learned this is not okay.
Right.
None of us went home and said anything to our parent.
Yeah.
You know this is not okay. So what you learn is to avoid that house by any means. And it's known in a neighborhood, the creepy house among kids.
Yeah.
And if I saw it as a child, you rest assured that every man and woman in the neighborhood saw it.
Absolutely.
And they shut up.
Yeah.
And I'm so angry at their lack of action from the men and women in the neighborhood. And every woman in Sudan will be able to tell you a story about a creeper. When we're in the transportation, so a man always in a bus was sitting behind you, trying to grind or touch you. And I slapped so many people going to school, like college, and then people will look at you as you shouldn't be doing that. Or why are you dressed like that? And you're dressed
like you're going to school.
To school.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this happened to more women in Sudan, in the US, in every part of the world, more than we acknowledge it, more than I would like to see and hear it, and more than we talk about. Why we keep it a hush-hush?
Yeah,
why?
That's the question.
No one in our neighborhood came and put that man in his place. If I'm his wife, if I was his wife, his sister, his brother, or his kids, I would have boiled some hot oil. I'm not advertising for violence right here, but I will pour some hot oil of water on your private to make you stop doing what you do. I'll cut it off. I'll do whatever. If I knew what I know now, if I knew it back then, this man would have been in a different place.
Right.
He would have been touching that empty spot right there between his leg. And I promise you, because if the men in the neighborhood, the woman, the family took initiative in protecting the kids, then something would have happened. So for your question, to answer your question, what can we do as a community? Take action.
Yeah.
If you know someone is a creeper, report them.
Yeah.
If you see them doing any kind of behavior, stop them.
Right.
Cut their private area. Pour hot oil.
Right.
Hot candle, or burn a candle.
Stand up against it.
Stand up against it. I don't care. Today, I'm advertising for violence.
She chose violence this morning.
This morning, when I saw that there are 2 and 3 years old toddlers raped in a bathroom, in a mall, and no one did nothing. No one did a thing about it.
How does nobody know?
How does no one know?
No one.
And if I have a 4 years old, 4.5, and I'm saying it out there, I'm this mom.
Yeah.
If you decide to touch my kids, you're going to be in the morgue. You're going to be in the morgue.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to jail.
Right.
Because there is no 911 when I see you.
Right. And another thing that you can do.
I chose violence.
Another thing you can do is check your neighborhood. There are websites that you can go on where you can see if there's sex offenders who are listed, who are known sex offenders or anything like that. Know who's in your neighborhood. That's important. That is public information.
Yeah.
So if you know you have sex offenders that are near you or around you, or you just get bad vibes, like, be aware, be cautious of what is around you.
Especially in the U.S. And
especially.
And you're saying, she just commented, children have been basically raped
Yeah.
in a sleepover. That's why you will not see my girl. My girls are 22 and 16 until they're old enough
To know. Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
And I know the family. I know the mom. And listen to this. Gotta be no dad in the house. Gotta be no boyfriend in the house. No
Yeah.
sleepover.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to sleep over at my house. They're more than welcome.
Yeah.
My girls will not sleep at anybody's house.
Yeah.
And you know what? My son, he doesn't speak. He cannot tell me. He's not sleeping nowhere.
Yep.
And when he goes with his dad, it better make sure when they go to family member, he better be watching over him.
Yeah.
Or you're going to have to answer to me. Because that's something you don't need to play around with.
Yeah. You can't. Our children are too valuable to play around with. My dad, he didn't let us sleep at nobody's house.
Yeah. And
I just told you that the other
there's
day.
human trafficking, okay? So if it's not talking about rape, your kid, when they're sleeping somewhere, you're not going to know until the next morning.
Yeah.
Read that comment.
So her first comment above this one was monitor social media interactions, install safety apps on devices, and no sleepovers. Absolutely.
I love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
your comments. Social media is, listen, I'm going to give you another.
This happened we're talking about an incident that happened in Texas. But this situation happens everywhere all over the world.
Yep. This incident happened in Texas, but if you look, you will hear it's happening every day.
Yeah.
Some of it is reported, some of it is not reported, but it's happening all over the world. And you know, when you said the social media, there are apps that we all know about. You have to know where your kids going.
Yeah.
You have to know where your kids visiting
Yeah.
on the web.
Yeah.
Because there are apps that have tracking devices.
Yep.
There is an app was just like maybe a couple years ago. They found out their men. You give it to your kids because you think they're talking to kids their age.
Yeah.
Men and women were making fake profiles and talking to kids. That's how traffickers get to lure, groom children. First of all, making them hate their family, promise them what they're going to do. We had a child that was promised to live a better life. They look at children who have trouble at home.
Yep.
That's why if you cannot make your kids comfortable, give them love at home, they're going to look for it. Remember a couple days ago, I said, المبت القفي بيت أبوك بخلعك. Whatever you don't find at your dad and mom's house is going to make you like, wow, you.
Yeah.
So if you're not giving them love, they're going to look for love somewhere else.
Right.
Elsewhere, right? If you're not giving them protection, attention, they're going to look for it somewhere else. And that's why the kids playing video games with allegedly people their age, and then they're talking to grown-ups who are telling them, oh, I'm going to get you a bus ticket to, Oklahoma. You get in a bus ticket and you go there thinking you're meeting your friend. You find the grown man. And then what are you going to do?
Exactly.
And if your kid made a mistake and left and call you, say, help me, don't say, why did you do it?
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Or you shouldn't have left in the first place.
You shouldn't have left in the first place. You go. If your child call you and needs you, you go. Because they're in a situation that could risk their life, endanger them.
Yes.
This is not, read Mayada.
Yes. Mayada said on Instagram, let children know it's not just stranger danger. Sometimes it's people we know too. Good to teach them what inappropriate touching is. Yes, all
we
those are
said
key
that.
facts. Yep, all
Key
those are
facts,
key facts.
Mayada. We said that at the beginning of the video, and we talked about with the statistics. 90% of sexual abuse happen from family members, from grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle, cousin, brother, sister, moms, dads. Nothing like now is out of the ordinary. It happens more than what we like to say it and hear it. But you know what? just like social media, going back to the point, monitoring the social media, making sure that your kids don't have full access. You have to check their phones.
Yes.
You have to with child control.
Their video games.
Yep.
Because, you know, now they have the headset.
They chat.
I'm going to tell you, when my son first started playing video games, for Christmas, we got him the whole headset so that he can hear.
Yeah.
And one day, he didn't have it plugged up.
Yep.
And all I heard was cursing. And I was walking to the bathroom. I was like, what is that? And it's like people like that he's virtually playing with. I didn't even know that he was playing with groups of like I knew he was playing a game, but I didn't know it was like all of these people.
Yeah.
And these are grown people cursing and talking mess. And you take it away.
Yeah.
Because what you expose your children to teaches them that it is okay.
Yeah.
My mom lets me listen to this.
Yeah.
My mom lets me play this game. I cut it off completely. I have complete control over his phone. He doesn't have Safari. He doesn't have his camera. He does. You know, there's like you have to do. And some people are going to say
creepers who are hacking and going into the cameras and watching your kids sleep. Like there's so many.
People are going to say you're a helicopter mom. Or your child is not gonna be able to handle themselves because you're so. Oh, they will.
They will.
Because you educate them and you show them that this is not okay. You saying nothing about it and letting it happen is a problem.
No headset.
They're gonna accept it.
If they're playing a game, no headset.
Facts.
I want to hear what your friends saying. If they're your age, I want to hear them. I want to hear what words that you're exposed to.
Yeah.
Until my girls are teenagers. You know, hate, stupid is a bad word to them.
Yeah.
And you know what? Because I will not expose them. And I know once they get older, they're going to hear music. They're going to hear the F word. They're going to hear a lot of bad words playing. But when you teach them, even if you hear it, you don't repeat it.
Right.
And you don't associate with kids. Now they choose who is going to be in their surrounding. You can lower this if you want to.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Yeah. But, like, it's on you, and I'm not putting this on moms and dad. Keep doing it. It's on you, and you're the one can actually decide what your kids until they're leaving your roof, and they can't leave the roof until they're older. So don't be kicking your kids out of the house. If they're acting up, find out why they're acting up.
There's always
a reason. No kid will act up.
Yeah.
They're in drugs. So you better find them some help, or they're associated with kids that making them think it's okay. They're making think that you are too controlling. A lot of people putting all those ideas in our children's mind, and you need to pay attention to that. I don't want to drag this and keep dragging it, but you get the point. If you just joined us, you can listen to the whole video. We will be sharing it, and that's like, this is something we don't need to be talking about one day and finish.
Right.
This is happening every day. And we can't wait and be on the defensive side all our life. We can't be waiting until a disaster happens and then we act upon it. Put this down for the lights because it's like there is a weird...
okay.
But we can't wait until our kids go through trouble.
Is it gone?
And then this is good. Okay. Our kids go through troubles in their life for us to act. Start an early age. There is nothing saying you can't be talking to them since they're 1 year old. Your nursery rhymes need to be about bad touch, good touch. Matter of fact, this is going to be our job, our next job. It's going to be bad touch, good touch. You know, not just stranger dangers, like Mayada said, even people around you. And you don't be afraid of coming to your parent and talking to them. Knowledge about your body, you know, about how you can act and react when someone is doing anything to you. But this is not the child's responsibility. This is your responsibility as a grown adult to not just teach them, to watch. Any change happen in your child's surrounding, watch. Don't expose them to people that you don't know. Don't expose them to people that you know. without you being there and watching.
Right.
That's pretty much it for me. I think, we just need to be vigilant. We need to pay attention.
We do.
What you want to say?
I want to tell everybody that this is, like you said, this is not a topic that we have and we just end. Please, everyone, go follow Tomorrow Smiles. That is Hajir's nonprofit for domestic violence and abuse, violence in general, and abuse on adults and children. We do have an Instagram page, Tomorrow Smiles.
I'm cold, sorry.
Tomorrow Smiles on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And on Tomorrow's Smile, you can go in there and we will be posting daily videos, motivational videos, or educational videos on how you know the signs, what are the red flags, and what can we do as a community to stop it.
Yep. So anyways, this is a everyday act, not just a react. So don't wait until something happened and you react to it, but start it. Every day, every video that we do it with an intention. We don't just come and talk to you because we have extra time that we want to spend.
Right.
But when we talk about raising your kids, knowing your kids, having a relationship with your kids, just getting to know, be part of their life, educate them, teach them, do this, do that, everything fall in place. When we talk about Autism Monday, we talk about if your child is like nonverbal, you need to pay more attention. When we talk about violence in general on Tuesday, how you can see the sign, the red flags, all of that, everything that we do is to teach people to be, educated, to be active, to be proactive, not just to wait until we hear an arrest, FBI arresting a man, and then I'm all mad and coming here swearing and choosing violence,
Right.
But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for always being there. Yes, Yara said consent. Teach your child to consent to everything.
Yes.
Even when even with my friends' kids, and my friends can come and tell you, I do not say hi to their kids until I ask the kid, not the mom.
Yeah.
Because if you ask the mom and say, oh, can I say hi to your child? What that will do to the child? You're giving a message to that child that they don't have control over their body. I don't care what is my friend's children age. If they're 2 years old, I will walk up to that child before I talk to their mom. I will ask that child, can I say hi to you?
Yeah.
Can I give you high five?
Yeah.
Can I hug you? Simple stuff like that will give your child from you and from your family member, your friend, it will give them the idea, it will teach them that they have control over their body.
Right.
That nobody should walk up to them, hug them, kiss them, or even shake their hand without their approval.
Right.
Everyone knows me and around me know that I do not walk to any child and just hug them. I will, even with the adult, I always hug people. I'll say, hey, I'm a hugger. Can I hug you?
Yeah.
Or I'll just, if I know you give me the okay before, I'll hug you and I'll let you know I'm coming. Hug comes your way.
Yeah.
You can put your hand and stop it. But not just your friends. You as a mom and a dad, you need to be talking to your kids and telling them, don't take shit from nobody. And I don't know if Facebook is gonna, cover that word, but don't take this is me today. I'm like keeping it real, 100% real. We've seen so much shit in the world, and we cannot keep sugarcoating things. This is truly need to stop. Like the culture need to change. And now I'm just gonna direct this to my Sudanese followers and my Sudanese friend and family and everyone listening to me. You do not have to keep the cycle going. If you were raised and taught to say nothing, see abuse, hear abuse, do abuse, please change it. In Sudan, in anywhere, you need to change. There is not such a thing as you cannot teach a dog a new trick. No, sir. If you're a dog and you can't learn a new trick, then you're not going to be around me or my kids. Right. You are going to change your behavior. You are going to change the way you were taught. And there's nothing saying that you can't change. If you grew up feeling that it is not okay to talk to your kids and no one talked to you about sex education, no one talked to you, you have to break the cycle. You have to talk to your kids. You have to start. Be you. Right. Start. The start happen, become whatever word you want to put in there. Start with you, and start with you today.
And it's never too late.
Yep.
Like if you get a sense of urgency after watching this live, or you're watching a replay, you get a sense of urgency. Start today. Start having those conversations with your kids and other parents. We can't fix the problem if we keep sweeping it under the rug, or if we keep it hush hush.
Yeah, no hush hush in here. It will not be hush hush. I will not. No, it was never in my blood or bone or my show or anywhere you will see in my social media. And it's going to be like you have to be. And isolated myself. I moved my girls away. Like my girls are not around anyone that I don't feel comfortable with. Yeah. My son will not be around anyone. Right. And with the Sudanese community, especially, I'm directing this to you all. We all go on like Jalia. I'm going to say some things in Arabic in a little bit. Like Haflat al-Jalia, al-Lamma. You know, people get gathering. You know, we have cultural gathering. That's good. All good. But there's so many people that you don't know. Right. You do not just take your kids. The party, al-hafla, is not a daycare. Right. The party you go to, listen to me. Yeah. Hear me out. I'm saying it to all of you. Yeah. The party you're going to,
the birthday party,
the wedding party, the dinner at your friend, the whatever, sleeping over, even in us community, Sudanese community, you go and sleep with your family, you stop with this. It is not a daycare. Yeah. You are not going to dump your children at other people's houses and walk away. You have to watch them every day. And this is in our culture. Right.
And you will
trust everyone.
You will get red flags.
Do not trust everyone.
You will get red flags before you even have your children around them. You yourself will get a sense of that this person isn't right.
And even if they're not, there is no red flag. You just cannot have your kids. We are too trusty in the Sudanese community, and that need to stop. Yeah. And you can't bury your head in the sand like an ostrich and think it's okay. النعامة بندفن راسنا في الرملة, and we think this does not happen in our community. Yes, it does.
It does.
More than we know. More than we want to admit. We all know. Yep. And you all know what I'm talking about. You all know that one person who molested someone you know, who abused someone you know, who raped someone you know, who just made that whistling sound. That's how all it started. You know, the whistling sound, the being creepy, you know, in the neighborhood. Protect your children by any means. Thank you, Sahar. Yeah. Protect your children by any means. And I don't care who you're going to upset in the process. You need to worry about who's going to be touching your child, being around your child. Right. I don't care I'm going to be upsetting today, tomorrow, any other day. I will upset you any day and every day. Right. So anyways, keep being who you are, keep pushing, changing, and don't be afraid of using your voice. Yes. So, all right, guys.
All right, to the one comment that we got, we can't, on the TikTok video, I can't link the Tomorrow Smiles on TikTok, but what we can do is I will do like a screen record to show you or a screenshot of the page, and I will post it on do a TikTok video so that you can go on there and follow Tomorrow Smiles. Again, this is a non-profit. This is a organization to help women and children who experience violence.
Violence
in general, okay? So thank you again to everybody who watched. We appreciate you, and only you can stop what's happening, right? And the best way to start is by doing the hard part, having the conversation first.
And if you just join us, as soon as we finish, please go listen to this video. This is very important.
Yes.
There's so much valuable information in it. It will benefit you. So do that. Listen to it, share it, do whatever you need to do. Just keep pushing, keep educating.
Yes.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.